Hello there guys, Tom JH Page here, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking the PMDG 777 to Barbados from London Gatwick. We're on stand 54 and we're going to be taking off from runway 26 left, which is the one in the background. I'll put like a red line under it. We're in a 777-200, in real life it'd not be the long range 777-200 LR, but unfortunately that's the only one that PMDG modelled, so that's what we're going to be taking today. I've got a predetermined route that I made on SimBrief, and I'm hopefully going to be joined by a friend or maybe two friends for this flight, but they're not awake yet, so I don't know. But we're not departing for at least another hour. I just wanted to, record, get us all like prepared, and then we can maybe chill out for a bit before departure. So yeah, we're not getting any GSX because GSX thinks the parking position is in the terminal here, so, not much I can do about that, unfortunately. Or maybe I could update the AFCAD, I don't know. The bit of an AFCAD issue. We just zoom over to the back of the plane, like that, with chase plane kind of getting a bit overexcited. We're in Golf Zulu Bravo Alpha Victor, and the hydraulics just came online because the tail centered itself. Let's see what kind of frame rate we're getting. Okay, we're getting around 60 frames in the external. That's pretty cool when recording. The water textures, it's UK2000. I mean, like, they're not that great. Let's hide the FPS counter because that's only half displayed for you, and I'm guessing that's quite annoying. And I was wrong about the tail. It might have just moved, but it's gone back, so the hydraulics aren't online. So yeah, I'm gonna get the jetway. Never mind. Well, I'll close all the doors and then we can pretend that we've boarded because GSX is being a little bit, of a pain today. Just avoid the wingtip. Don't know if these lights should be on at the current moment. I did load in a preset. But yeah, I'm recording this in 60 frames, so... Where am I? Yeah, I'm recording this in 60 frames a second, so hopefully you can see this. I should be flying at 60 frames, maybe not in the VC at Gatwick. But since moving to P3D version 3, it's been using my graphics card a lot more for processing, and that's good because I've got a 980 Ti, so it can. I've been getting a lot better performance, which is nice. Anyway, it's been 3 minutes. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to get in the flight deck, and I'm going to get programming some FMCs. Well, just one of them. Maybe I'll use the second one. I don't know. So welcome to the flight deck. It's not in fully cold and dark, just because you never get that in real life, so there's no point doing it in the sim. But as you can see from the long list of things that aren't functioning on the eCam, upper eCam I think is what it's called. We've got a lot to do, so I'll just start off by aligning the IRS because that can sort itself out while everything else is being done. So I'll turn the ADIRUs on. And did I set a FMC camera position? I did not. Oh, I did actually. Okay. How nice of me. So we're on the ground at Gatwick. I'm gonna put the gate in. I know it's not gonna work, but I'm gonna give it a go. Stand 54. Oh, would you look at that? It hasn't asked for the inertial position yet, which is interesting. Oh, there you go. So as you can see, it's all gone into alignment mode. So we just reset the camera. GPS position and so we just bring the GPS position over, and that's the same as the stand position. So I guess there's some form of verification. I've made the route here, Gatwick to Barbados. Tango Bravo Papa Bravo is the IKO, and we can also load in the amount of fuel we need today, which is 7. Let me just check on my flight plan. I'm pretty sure it's 72,000. Yeah, 72226. 72226. It's about 50% fuel. Route 1 uplink ready. Let's just request the perf and then load that. Okay, so we've got the flight plan in. Bing bing. That's the company message from the perf in it, which you can check. We are going to change that flight level. Actually, no. No, we won't, because that's correct. The one that I have on my flight plan is incorrect. It's 3000. So yeah, we should be going flight level on an even flight level, and even though my flight plan said 330, I'm going to correct that. Thrust limitation, we'll do a 40-degree D rate, which isn't a whole lot because the runway at Gatwick isn't huge. I mean, it's alright, but I'm not going to take any risks. It's better to get off the runway too quick than too late. So that'll be a takeoff thrust, 40 degrees D rate, 95% and 1. And we'll do a climb 2, seeing as we're not that heavy. Flaps 15 will be fine. The centre of gravity will go in, and I need to put this in. It will be the SAM 1 X-ray departure, Southampton 1 X-ray. It's the full name of the VOR, and we'll just pop the speeds in like that. V2 is 154, so I'll just set that in the MCP. Left flight director on first, and then the pilot not flying is the co-pilot, the first officer. The runway heading, I believe, is 259. I'm not too great at Gatwick, so I don't know completely all the things. In fact, it will tell us what the heading is in the flight plan on the departure from the Southampton 1 X-ray. 258. So yeah, we'll just use that. That'll be the climb. Oh no, that's wrong. No, you look at the ND, that's... No, let's just use 259. It's going to bug me then. Initial climb is to 4,000, I think. I'm pretty sure it's 4,000. Yeah, 4,000 feet is what our last altitude restriction is. We can arm LNAV, VNAV, and we can put VOR left and right on our side. And we can take the weather radar. Let's put it down there. We won't do anything with the tilt just because, like, it doesn't matter. So you can see it's a bit rainy. The weather's not great, but nothing in the red. There's a bit of yellow. There's a tiny bit of red up there, but we're not going in that general direction. And we'll just put the train on the left-hand side. We can take the VOR left and ADF right. If we go to the overhead, these, I think we can turn these onto auto and I'll manage themselves. And then these we don't do until after pushback. I don't know if there's fuel in the centre or not, but I'm going to turn... Yeah, there's no fuel in the centre. We can leave the air conditioning on auto. It sorts itself out. The 777 is very good like that. We've got the APU and the APU gen on, so that's all fine. Yeah, so that is pretty much set up. We can just go over the ECAS now. There is a tiny bit of fuel in the centre, so I will turn the centre pumps on, seeing as we do have fuel in the centre. But we will get a pressure warning until it's empty. What have we got? Hydraulic pressure. In fact, I don't really know how these work, but I've never had a problem just turning them on, so I'm going to do that. Can turn the seatbelt signs onto auto. No smoking will be on because, you know, it's not allowed anymore. So we can shut the doors now. Just going into the second FMC, using the 2D pop-up because I'm lazy. And we'll just double click that to arm them. And then we'll just close all of these. So all that's left is TCAS, or after the doors are all closed, should be TCAS and engine shutdown. Well, the TCAS isn't on because we don't turn on Squawk Mode Charlie until we enter the runway. But we can set 2000, which is, I believe, the IFR standby Squawk on VATSIM. Or is it 1200? I don't know. But I think that's the VFR one. I'm not sure. I'm going to leave it. We're on VATSIM, so we can tune 122.8 because there's no ATC, unfortunately. Okay. I believe that's everything we have to do. So all that's left is engine shutdown and TCAS is on standby. We can press B to set the QNH. I just need to swap that over. 9901, low pressure. Well, that's pretty much set up. I'm happy with that. We're going to push back at 8:50 and the time currently is 7:49. The clock is 5 minutes behind real world time. So I'm going to chill out for 20 minutes and then we can push back and I'll see if my friends are coming. Hopefully they are, but it's pretty early so they might still be asleep. And yeah, I'll see you when we're getting ready to push back and start. Okay, so it's about 3 minutes before pushback time. The rain has picked up a little bit. There's still no control on VATSIM, and GSX still isn't working, so we're just going to have to do a Shift P pushback, unfortunately. So, we'll get that going. I'll release a parking brake, and I'll start pushing back, like so. And we can start engine number 2, like that. And we'll just put it's auto mixture, so we can just put the fuel in right now. Okay, so we have got engine rotation. I think you can hear the click from the outside, so I don't think that'll be an issue in terms of going outside the... But you'll be able to see it anyway. Right, there you go. The engine is picking up a bit more. I think it's... There you go. Spinning full speed now. Well, I don't know what the technical terms are for, like, what stage of the start. Yeah, there you go. There's the starter cutout. You can quickly go to the overhead and start engine number 2. We'll stop the pushback. Set the parking brake. And then put the fuel in. Okay, so that's 2 good engine starts, nearly. But yeah, we can go to the overhead. Actually, oh, I'm so bad at using a camera. Okay, we can turn off the APU gen, and the APU, and we'll just put the gen back on. The left engine bleeder should come on in a minute, he says. We'll put the initial step of wipers on, seeing as it is raining outside. We could put the taxi lights on. There you go. There goes the bleeder. We don't need the turn-offs. And then we can just put a bit of power in, turn to the right. I'm turning right, and then we'll take another right. The animation on the wipers is pretty low frame rate, so... Yeah, PMDG's animations have never been the best. We've got company, I think that's an Airbus, I think that's an A320 or an A319. And I think we'll probably be following them out to 26 left. The weather hasn't cleared up, we've actually got bad weather that is coming over the, well, from the east. Hopefully it stays clear of the airport for our takeoff, but it's nothing red, so it shouldn't be an issue. Just a bit grim, really. Yeah, that's an A320. Okay, we'll set flaps 15, like so. Let's see where this Airbus is going. I don't know where he's going, but I was planning to go right the way here and then just line up from there. But we could follow him and take full length, because he will be going first, seeing as he's out here first. He's not saying anything on Unicom, so I don't have an idea of where he's going, but I'll just try and stay aware of him and not cut him up. Okay, so this Airbus isn't moving, so I don't really know what his plans are. He might have just pushed back and still be waiting for the engines to start. So I'm just gonna taxi past him. Taxi to. Actually, no, he's just said something on Unicom, so I'm going to take a left here and then hold short of him. That's assuming this is the right guy. Yeah, it's just him. I'll just put in Unicom that I'm following him. He just said on Unicom that I can go first. What a nice guy. Okay, so we will just taxi past him here, and we'll just follow the taxiway down here. Don't know how good the wingtip clearance is going to be. This is gonna be tight. Actually, we're just gonna pass over him. Okay, that works. He just said, "Am I going to Alpha 2?" And the answer to that is, I do not know. Let me check. Okay, so we're gonna take in this right here. This is taxiway Mike, and then where is it? Taxiway Mike. Yeah, this is Mike, and then ahead is Mike 1, which is full length. Let's see where the other BA has gone. Okay, so he's going to take off from Alpha 2 just because of wake turbulence. He doesn't want to be flying in the wake of a big 777. An A220 is not a problem for me, so even though wake turbulence isn't simulated, it's, you know, realism. So we'll just hold short here at Mike 1. And our company A320, who was let us pass, is now going to depart first, and we can watch him take off. And we can also go through, we'll line up behind him. Okay, so we've got the company lining up here on 26 left. Let me check the approach path actually. So no one's showing up here. I'll turn the TCAS on just to get a reading of planes on the approach, if there are any. There doesn't appear to be any, so that's cool. Okay, so he's rolling. We'll taxi. We'll line up on 26 left. Run range procedure, landing lights on, taxi lights will turn off, and the strobe lights on. And we'll swing left, right even. And I have not done a good job with this lineup, or have I? I don't know. That weather is grim. I feel cold just looking at it. Okay, so you can see that the lights of the A320 just rotating ahead of us. He said he's on the Bogner 1 X-ray. I do not know which direction that is, so I will just wait and see where he goes. We've got him in our TCAS here, so we can just watch him. Set the parking brake. Okay, so just before we go, auto brakes RTO, flaps 15, green light. Landing lights are on, strobe lights are on, we'll ding the cabin. That was 3 times. One more than we needed, but whatever. He appears to have slightly gone off to the... Actually no, he's tracking runway heading. That's not enough clearance, unfortunately. We'll just wait until he does something major. I think he's on one of those departures where it's 2 right turns, like a U shape. Well, actually, let's go on Vatastic and see where he's off to. Oh, the British Airways, who commented on how kind all the BA pilots were, was actually Wriggles89. Here you go. If we scroll up, here you go. So yeah, if you know Dave, that's definitely him. Yeah, I just looked on Vatastic and I've got him added as one of those people that you can see where all their flights are. So yeah, so I noticed it was Wriggles89. Where is he flying? 3,000 feet. I mean, he's quite far. Yeah, 6 DME. So the people that we departed with just warned me of the crosswind on takeoff. So let me just check the winds. I should have done that before. 180 at 12. That is not good. So it's basically a direct crosswind at 12 knots. So if I do this properly, the plane should yaw slightly when we take off, which is always pretty cool. So 50% power. Stable, no asymmetry, toga. I'll actually turn the wipers on to a bit higher. Whoa, I'm full right rudder now, and we're still veering to left, 80 knots. Let's put in some left aileron out. Whoa, that was a bad idea, not that much. Left aileron to combat the crosswinds. V1, rotate. There's that yaw. Positive rate, gear up. Whoa, yeah, that was not nice. Good dump of turbulence there. Jeez. Right, let's take the autopilot on. Getting pretty abused by the winds here. There's some nice default FSX auto gen for you. And flaps 5, past flaps 5 speed. So yeah, if you look at the ND, we can see we're actually flying at kind of like a 10 degree or like a 15 degree offset to the direction of travel. That's because of the wind. So the plane has calculated that we're being pushed along like this. So if we just head at this speed, not at this speed, at this heading, then we will we'll go to the direction that we need to. Flaps up. We will just climb directly up to flight level 340. Just spam that a bit to clear all the altitude restrictions. Flaps are up. Green light. Auto brakes are off. We can turn the landing lights off because there's just nothing to see here, so no one can see us anyway. Okay. Yeah, that's all good. There's that red dot there is there's a BA we departed with. So there you go, the weather's pretty miserable at Gatwick. Hopefully it's a bit nicer at Barbados. Clouds are kind of glitching out on the wing. Forgot how to speak there. Just a slight turn to the left now. Not that you could tell from the wing view, but you know, whatever. Okay, well that's the departure. I hope you enjoyed that. A bit challenging, I guess, because of the wind. Not really, I just rotated, there's nothing special about that. I do need to set the correct QNH type there. Pressing all the buttons on the MTP. Was that too loud on departure? I don't know. I'm going to have to review that footage. Yeah, here's some chase plane views. Okay, well that's acceleration height again, like above 10,000. Not a whole lot else to say. So thanks for watching the departure. I'll film the landing, of course, and I'll see you then. Okay, so welcome back to the flight deck. We're currently descending through 14,500 towards Barbados. We're going to level out at 3,000. And fly kind of like a pattern around because there's no stars into Barbados, unfortunately. We're about 40ish miles from like the island, from the airport, but we're probably more like 60 miles, 50 miles, something like that, to actually landing, because we're gonna have to do a circuit. We're gonna have to do some pattern work just to get ourselves in alignment. I will set QNH, which is 1013, that makes life easy. I'll actually set a radio. Actually, no, Barrow. I'll just do 500 feet. I didn't check the charts. Doesn't really make much of a difference. It's a perfect day. Minimum's like has no effect. Let's see if I can find the airport. I think it's just over there on the whatever side of the island, on the west side. But unfortunately we can't see it because there's a bit of a cloud in the way. So yeah, I didn't record any of the descent. I honestly forgot. It just started descending and I didn't press record again. But it doesn't matter. There's not much to see in the descent. Like, I'm sure you've all flown planes in FSX and P3D in the past and know what a descent looks like. So, you know, whatever. Let's put it in heading mode. I'm just gonna go 270. Actually, let's go 265. So we're heading a bit more towards the airport. And yeah, I will start recording again once we are kind of establishing on the approach, if you will. Well, hopefully, unless I crash into the sea. Yeah, anyway, I'll see you then. Okay, so we're currently on downwind for runway 09er. I'm just going to vector ourselves now onto the ILS for runway 09er. I just point that towards the intercept. It is a 2,000 feet ILS entry, so I'm going to try and get down to 2,000 before that. It's not really a problem if we don't. I'll lower the speed down to 160 as well. Okay, so I've just turned on the landing lights, strobes, taxis, runway turn-offs. We'll ding the cabin. There's not a whole lot else to do, really. You could put flaps 5 out, why not? Thanks. Okay, so there we go. Radio altimeters are alive. It's indicating that we are below the glide slope, even though we are below. We are above the ILS entry height, according to the altitude restriction. I don't know. That's confusing. But I'm just gonna level out here. We can arm the localizer. I'm sorry if the MCP is off screen. For you. It's because I've had to stretch out the screen because I couldn't get OBS to capture the window. So to avoid you having to look at the taskbar and all of that, I stretched it out a bit. So unfortunately, the right hand side you can't see too well, but I'm sure you can imagine it. I'll take flaps 15, just to lower the pitch. Whip, 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 whip. Sea brakes in. I can actually arm the speed brakes. Altitude alert. We appear to be going up. Let's just slowly descend downwards so that goes away. And we'll try and conserve some energy by descending as well. Auto brake 2 for landing. It'll get us stopped nice enough. And if I float it, then I can always just jam on some manual braking. And that won't be a problem. Just taking a sip of water. Okay, it should be turning, like anytime. Plus. Let me vector just a bit more. It's a bit of a... don't know what the word is for, like, high angle. It would be steep if it was like a height. I'm just going to say steep approach angle just because I like... That's what sounds right. Well, it doesn't sound right, but it seems logical. Okay, there's some chase plane views. No one really cares. Cabin is ready. That's nice. The runway is somewhere in that haze over there. Come on, turn. I'm getting really worried how it's not turning to intercept. There you go, turning to intercept. And I'm being unrealistic, so I forgot to change that setting where it automatically corrects the heading to the localizer course. But whatever, it's one less thing for me to do. And we can do a low drag approach for this actually, so that would be flaps 20 and gear up until 4 DME, seeing as we've established, like, on the localizer way too far out. We can just... we don't need to really worry about drag and speeds and all of that fortunately, so we can just do a low drag approach, and that will help save a bit of fuel and make it a bit quieter for the people living nearby the airport. Okay, so let's make a DME arc, which is we can do runway 09. I'll just copy that over, fix here, and it's a circle of -4, so we just get a circle around the airport, and yeah, there you go. So we're about 15 miles out, which is a really extended approach. So I'm probably going to do a jump cut now to when we're on the ILS, on the glide slope even, just because, like, a bit more entertaining for you guys. Okay, so the glide slope is now active. I'm just going to check that on the approach, which I have. There's the airport just ahead of us. Scenery hasn't loaded in quite yet. It's some freeware that I picked up from, I think, Flyawaysimulation. I'll leave the link in the description. It's pretty good for freeware. I don't think there's any payware scenery that's available for this place, but, you know. Freeware will be just fine for today. It's quite a basic airport anyway. It's just like one taxiway and a couple stands. We're just getting the glide slope, hopefully, right now, please. Yeah, there you go, it's just captured that. Gear down, and VRS speed. So hopefully a bit of extra drag will help us. And on the speed brakes, flaps 25 is for our approach. Just ignore that, it's not an issue. And I'll take out the autopilot. There's ground online, so that's some ATC, I guess, to guide us through the taxiway that there is only one of. There you go, the scenery is just loading in there. Not too nice on the visuals there, but whatever. Just making corrections as lightly as possible. Losing the glide slope there a little bit. Let's pitch up. Also losing the speed a touch, so I'll keep an eye on that. Just be ready to slam forward the throttles. That was a bit too violent. 1000 check. I'm just putting a little bit of up trim. Just trim for the current speed that we're going. I actually put the fly-by-wire trim speed indication up, so I can trim it for the speed we're flying, which is how apparently the trim is done on the 777. You trim for speed. Don't really understand how that works, but whatever. There you go, the cloud size I just moved.
Decision plane. Decision plane.
Landing.
300.
Little bit high.
200.
Let's monitor that. Try not to go too low so we correct it.
100. 50. 40. 30, 20,
Gently flare.
10.
Bit of right rudder. Down we go. Bit off center, but never mind. Minus 252 feet a minute, which is kind of what I was looking for. Normal reverse is around 40%, if I can get that. 70 knots, manual braking, 60 knots, reverse is stowed. And I'll just slow to 30 knots for the vacation. You can just disarm the auto brakes. Start up the APU. I'm going to need some power once we turn the engines off. And we'll just switch over to Barbados ground. Is it Grantley Addams ground? I'm just gonna say Barbados ground. We're gonna vacate via Echo, I think, for today. Let's also get some landing lights off, like that. We'll just have the taxi lights on. Barbados ground. Hello, Speedbird 2155 vacating Echo. I haven't got a response. That's interesting.
Speedbird 155, back to the gate 120 Echo Alpha, report engine position.
Stand 12 via Alpha and we'll report engines off. Speedbird 2155. Okay, so that's our taxi clearance. We're looking for stand 12. So let's see if we can get GSX to help us out there. No. We can just customize the gate position once we get there. I actually have no idea where stand 12 is. This is interesting. It should be the one just to our left. I couldn't identify which one's GSX and which one's the scenery objects. I think this here is GSX. No, that's not it. This is going to be difficult. Okay. We're gonna get the speed brakes and the flaps in. That was a bit late. Let's just stop here 1 second, and I will just check out what this stand here is. Oh, here we go. This is 12 apparently. GSX hasn't made an appearance, even though it said it did. So that's pretty cool. Let's get the landing taxi lights off because we're pulling into a stand. We don't want to blind the people in the terminal, the people who are giving us marshalling. And I think I took that too late. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's too late. I'll just try and correct that. So we'll overshoot it again and taxi forwards a little bit. And then try and bring it around. And we're going far too fast. Always nice in the external view getting 60 frames. We'll park it here. And we will remember to report engines off to ground. We'll turn off transponder as well. Barbados ground, Speedbird 2155, engines off. That wasn't a very good parking. Well, it was, and you didn't make much of a show either.
2155, flight plan closed, that time 51. Have a good day.
Thanks, have a good day, Speedbird 2155. I can't really understand what he's saying. His mic is not very good, I'm sure. You can, hopefully you can agree with that. I'm not just being stupid. Okay, well, there's not a whole lot of shutdown to do. I guess we could turn the hydraulics off, but I mean, what's the point? We've done the flight anyway. Could turn these off, I guess. But anyway, let's get a nice view. What's a nice view? Well, that's not a nice view. If only we had some kind of jetway or like ground services that could help us out here. In fact, I wonder what happens if we just request. Yeah, okay, nice one, GSX. GSX is really not playing ball today. Doesn't matter. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this flight. If you want to request a flight, just put it in the comments. I'll see what I can do. We should. I'm planning to do a video in the FS 20. I'm probably going to be doing a BA shuttle flight, a regional UK flight. I want to fly to Mumbai in India as well, because I just got the scenery for that, and I want to do a Concorde flight. So that will probably be the videos for the next month or two, will be those. Just say in the comments what flight you'd like to see me do, and I'll probably put that as a priority, I guess, because these flights will just do whatever takes my fancy. Yeah. Twitch is in the description, Instagram's in the description. I'd really appreciate if you guys could follow me on that. I'm mostly like my biggest social media right now is my plane spotting Instagram account. So like if you follow that, it'd mean the world to me. We're aiming for 1,000 followers by June. We're on 950 currently, so that'd be really cool if we could meet that goal. As always, if you're new around here, if you'd like to subscribe, I'd appreciate that. If you've got a YouTube channel, put that in, just say in the comment, I've got a YouTube channel, and I'll check you out. Nice to have a community of YouTubers that support each other. Yeah, that's all from me. Thanks very much for watching, and goodbye. Ah! Mayday. Okay. Cut that out. Cut that out.